$600 million per day. Not growth, just survival cost of a collapsing machine. Just 100 days ago, Dubai celebrated record-breaking global tourism dominance proudly. 95 million visitors, a number that felt unstoppable, almost untouchable in scale. But today, something feels wrong. The system is slowing, then suddenly breaking. Dubai International Airport, once unstoppable, now feels eerily silent and fragile. Flight cancellations surge past 40%. This is no normal disruption anymore. Terminal 3 has transformed. Luxury arrivals replaced by desperate exits overnight. The energy has changed. People are no longer arriving. They're escaping. Ticket prices explode beyond logic. Leaving Dubai now feels like buying freedom. Some pay $350,000 just to secure a single one-way escape flight. Business class counters stand empty. The elite already left before the chaos. The smart money always moves first. Silence reveals what panic hides. Then came the trigger. A single geopolitical shift changed everything instantly. Operation Epic Fury began. Airspace transformed from safe routes into danger zones. Insurance companies pulled out. And aviation cannot exist without protection systems. Without insurance, planes become useless metal. Risk replaces profit immediately. Over 37,000 flights canceled. Not delays, a system-wide breakdown unfolding fast. This is not weather. This is the collapse of global aviation confidence. Dubai's strength was connection. Now that connection is being cut apart. The hub model depended on movement. Movement just stopped breathing suddenly. On the runway, A380 giants stand still like stranded ocean creatures. Massive engines silent. No departures, no arrivals, just waiting without answers. These aircraft once symbolized power. Now they represent vulnerability and excess. Ancillary revenues collapse 85% within just 20 days of disruption. Shops are empty, lounges are silent, the ecosystem is breaking apart. Dubai relied on transit passengers. That lifeline is disappearing rapidly now. When connection dies, the entire system begins collapsing from the inside. Dubai doesn't breathe alone. It breathes through the world's movement, and now the world is holding its breath in fear. When the world freezes, Dubai suffocates faster than any other city. This isn't a slowdown. This is a system shock unfolding in real time. A golden gateway is turning into an emergency exit under pressure. The illusion of control is breaking. Reality is taking over fast. And this is only the beginning of something much bigger. The symbols of luxury still stand tall. But inside, something is dying. The Burj Khalifa and Burj Al Arab now feel strangely lifeless and hollow. These icons once defined ambition. Today, they resemble monuments of silence. Hotel occupancy collapses from 80% to below 15% rapidly. Luxury suites remain untouched, beds made perfectly, but no one arrives anymore. 80,000 bookings vanish in days. Demand disappears like it never existed. But the real story isn't lost revenue, it's the cost of survival. Dubai now burns $600 million daily just to keep everything running. Why so expensive? Because the desert never allows anything to truly rest. Glass towers must stay cooled constantly under brutal 40-degree temperatures outside. If cooling stops, interiors decay quickly. Luxury turns into dust within months. Electricity becomes invisible pressure, silently draining the pride of architecture daily. These buildings were never designed to pause. They must constantly consume to survive. Luxury here is not passive. It is an expensive machine demanding constant fuel. Real estate prices begin collapsing at shocking speed, nearly 12% weekly. Properties once untouchable now struggle to find even a single buyer. Even premium zones feel abandoned. Demand evaporates faster than expected. The Dubai Mall, once overflowing, now echoes with emptiness and silence. Luxury brands sit untouched. No buyers, no movement, no energy left. Unfinished towers stand frozen. Cranes no longer move. Capital has disappeared. Projects that symbolize the future now represent uncertainty and halted ambition. Debt begins revealing itself. What looked strong was built on fragile assumptions. Dubai's miracle depended on constant flow. That flow has suddenly stopped. Without people, even gold loses value. Without activity, buildings lose purpose. Concrete without life becomes nothing more than expensive, silent structures. This was never just about tourism. It was about belief in endless growth. And now, that belief is starting to crack under pressure. And the towers still shine outside. But inside, the system is weakening. Dubai is learning a brutal truth. Luxury cannot exist without stability. And right now, stability is the one thing disappearing the fastest. Something strange appears at airport parking lots across Dubai. Rows of abandoned supercars sit covered in desert dust silently, engines off, keys still inside, doors locked in quiet surrender. These are not mistakes. These are decisions made under pressure. When survival calls, luxury becomes meaningless instantly. A Ferrari cannot buy safety when uncertainty fills the air. More than 2,000 supercars now sit forgotten near departure zones. This is not waste. This is pure economic calculation. Life becomes the only asset worth protecting in crisis. Then comes the deeper collapse. Not machines, but people leaving. Over 127,000 visas canceled within the first months of 2026. Among them, 40,000 highly skilled professionals exit rapidly. These were the minds powering Dubai's growth engine daily. Doctors, engineers, executives, all choosing to leave at once. The brain drain hits faster than any financial crisis. The famous golden visa begins losing its emotional value. What once symbolized security now feels like temporary permission. $1 million penthouses now struggle to attract even desperate buyers. Prices drop, but confidence drops even faster than numbers. Wealthy residents quietly exit before panic becomes visible publicly. Private jet prices surge to $350,000 for a single flight. Escape becomes a privilege only few can afford now. But the real crisis lies beyond the wealthy headlines. Schools and hospitals lose over 60% staff rapidly. Essential services begin weakening as workforce disappears overnight. Dubai suddenly faces a harsh structural reality about itself. Nearly 90% of population are foreign residents without roots, and foreigners do not stay when stability starts collapsing. The system was built on temporary presence, not permanent belonging. When pressure hits, the foundation reveals its weakness instantly. Then comes the humanitarian side, rarely shown publicly. Around 1.5 million migrant workers now face uncertain survival conditions. Food shortages begin appearing in tightly packed living spaces. Medical access becomes limited as systems prioritize emergency stability. Many workers cannot leave. They simply do not have options. Passports remain locked inside abandoned offices and closed businesses. Employers disappear quietly, leaving workers behind without support. The contrast becomes impossible to ignore anymore. The rich escape instantly. The poor remain trapped inside uncertainty. $350,000 buys freedom. $35 becomes impossible for basic survival. Dubai begins transforming into something no one expected before. A luxury paradise slowly turning into a controlled survival zone. Shopping malls shift from luxury to basic supply distribution centers. The service industry loses its purpose as fear replaces comfort. Smiles disappear. Survival replaces hospitality across the entire system. This is no longer about tourism. It's about human endurance now. A city built on ambition now faces the test of reality. Because in the end, cities survive only if people choose to stay. And right now, people are choosing to leave. The collapse doesn't stop at airports or empty towers. It spreads quietly into the entire economic system. A $40 billion tourism loss hits the Middle East. And Dubai takes the hardest udar from this shock. The question is simple. Why did everything break so fast? Because Dubai depended on a system it couldn't control. The global movement of people was its lifeline. Now that movement is frozen. The system is suffocating. 70% of airline revenue came from transit passengers. That stream has vanished almost overnight without warning. The hub model now reveals its hidden weakness clearly. Dubai connected the world, but invited global risk inside. When one link breaks, everything begins collapsing rapidly. Then comes another pressure point. Supply chains start breaking down. The Strait of Hormuz becomes a zone of rising uncertainty. Dubai imports nearly 90% of essential goods. That dependency now turns into a dangerous vulnerability. Fuel costs rise sharply due to forced flight detours. Airlines face a 30% increase in operational expenses. Profit margins disappear. Losses begin stacking rapidly. 3 months of disruption erase 10 years of growth. Investors start pulling back. Confidence fades faster than numbers. Foreign direct investment could drop by 75% soon. Political risk now outweighs every financial incentive offered. No tax benefits can fix instability and uncertainty anymore. Banks begin facing rising pressure from bad debts. Abandoned projects turn into financial burdens overnight. Real estate becomes a ghost market with no buyers. The skyline still shines but produces no real income. Luxury loses meaning when cash flow disappears completely. Dubai shifts from building future dreams to survival mode. Mega projects fade. Maintenance becomes the new priority. The golden era transitions into a decade of adjustment. Tourists begin choosing stability over glamour and extravagance. Places like Greece, Vietnam, and Alps gain attention. The world is changing its definition of luxury entirely. Safety becomes the new currency in global travel decisions. Artificial glamour is losing against authenticity and stability. Dubai may not collapse completely, but it will transform from global hub to regional player in coming years. A quieter version of itself will eventually emerge. The lesson here is deeper than just one city. Hyperconnectivity creates power, but also extreme fragility. Too much dependence can destroy even the strongest systems. Infinite growth was always an illusion waiting to break. And now, that illusion is finally collapsing publicly. Dubai becomes a case study for future global cities. Never build a system without strong internal stability. Never rely completely on forces you cannot control, because when those forces shift, everything changes instantly. But this is not the end of Dubai. It is a reset, a forced evolution under pressure. A city learning humility after years of rapid rise. The future will be smaller, but more stable perhaps. The question now is not about collapse, but adaptation. Can Dubai rebuild with stronger foundations this time? Or will it repeat the same fragile model again? Because history always tests what grows too fast, and only what is rooted deeply survives the storm. So what would you choose right now? A golden tower or a stable, quiet ground? Because sometimes collapse is the only path to truth.